Good afternoon, class of 2020, and the family and friends of our graduates. On behalf of the Valparaiso administration, Board of School Trustees, and the VHS faculty and staff, I would like to officially begin our commencement program by welcoming you to our virtual ceremony. We hope you will all join us in honoring the class of 2020 for their hard work, dedication, and determination to reach this moment. We would also like to announce the date of our traditional commencement ceremony in July. Based on your feedback through the parent and student surveys, we have scheduled the traditional commencement ceremony on July 12th at 3 p.m. We are hopeful that Indiana will continue to move forward through the stages of Governor Holcomb's Back on Track Indiana plan so that we may celebrate together on Viking Field. Look for more information on the VHS traditional graduation ceremony in the weeks to come. We could not be more proud of the class of 2020 and hope they never forget, no matter where the path of life takes them, we are and they forever will be Valpo. We will begin the commencement shortly, but first the VHS Orchestra will perform Pomp and Circumstance.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. At this time, I ask that if you're able, please stand for the singing of the national anthem by our Valparaiso High School varsity singers.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, and welcome to the 146th commencement ceremony for Valparaiso High School. This afternoon, we have the privilege to witness a milestone in the lives of more than 530 students as they enter a new phase in their lives. Seniors, the next phase in your life journey is an exciting one. 87% of you are going to college or a trade school. 5% will be joining the workforce. 4% will be serving in the military. And 4% are waiting to see where life takes you. But before you move on with life and continue to fulfill your purpose, I ask that you take a few moments to reflect on how you got to where you are at this very moment. Your high school graduation. I invite you and your parents to take a trip down memory lane with me. Parents, think back 17, 18, or 19 years ago to the first time you laid eyes on your child. Remember the first time you held them in your arms, so fragile, but yet so full of life. Like me, you probably instantly love that little person unconditionally. You bring them home from the hospital, and days turn to weeks, and those weeks turn to months. Right around their first birthday, you celebrate them taking their first steps. Seniors, you probably don't remember, but you most likely took a couple of steps and fell, got back up, took a couple of steps, and fell again. Well, those months turned to years, and then came another milestone, learning to ride a bike without training wheels. All I can say is thank goodness for helmets, elbow pads, and knee pads. More years go by, and that baby you held in your arms not so long ago waves goodbye as they walk into the schoolhouse. And it hurts just a little to see them go. Before you know it, you become their taxi driver as their world has become packed with scheduled practices and hanging out with friends. Along comes that first formal high school dance, and as you see them leave with their friends for a night of dinner and dancing, you can't help that bittersweet feeling of knowing your baby is growing up. Driving lessons come into play, and before long, you're watching your child drive off, no longer needing your taxi service, and it hurts just a little to see them go. Now, a few years later, here we are, getting ready to send our children off to continue on life's journey. And yes, it hurts to see them go. But together, we have prepared them, and they have the knowledge and the tools to make the world a better place. Seniors, in your 13 plus years of school, you traded in binders for one-to-one technology, enjoyed and lost Late Start Wednesdays, appreciated e-learning days, but then you got a lot of them, way more than you ever expected, and you ended your high school career virtually. While the last 9 weeks of school may have been challenging, you achieved yet another milestone in your lives. The same hard work and determination that helped you get back up time and time again when you learned how to walk and ride a bike is the same hard work and determination that has helped you get here to your high school graduation. Class of 2020, I have faith in you. Not only have you become the amazing young ladies and gentlemen we see before us, but you are unstoppable. And to quote Dr. Seuss, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the one who'll decide where to go. Thank you. In just a few moments, you will hear from student-selected speakers and see each graduate be recognized. Now, joining me on the screen is Mr. Jack Kraus, the Valparaiso High School 2020 Senior Class President. Hello, Jack.
Hi. Thank you, Dr. Toban. The first person I will be introducing today probably needs no introduction at all. Aside from being a phenomenal teacher, Mr. Palazzado is well known at the high school for a number of reasons. His Christmas and Halloween decorations are, without question, the best in the entire school, and perhaps all of Valpo. He's a Valparaiso High School graduate himself, a Hall of Fame inductee for cross-country, track, and coaching, and he is the former VHS Juggling Club sponsor. Mr. Palazzado teaches AP Biology, which is the only AP exam I've ever earned a 5 on, and this next one is just a guess, but I think he might hold the world record for most student aid requests ever. The last thing he's known for is giving great life advice, which is why it's no surprise that he will be up here today as the Class of 2020's guest speaker. It is my honor to call to the stage, or screen I guess, Mr. Palazzado to share his remarks.
Thanks for that wonderful introduction, Jack. As Jack said, I'm Brett Palazzado, Coach Palazzado, or simply Polly to most. I've been teaching biology and chemistry, subjects that I love, to students that I love, at Valparaiso High School for 26 years. I am also a longtime track coach, former cross-country coach, and Valparaiso High School graduate with the class of 1987. Does that ring a bell with some of the parents out there? 1987. I am very humbled and honored to be selected as the graduation speaker. The class of 2020 is simply amazing, filled with tremendous students accomplishing amazing things. Students that have been blessed with academic, athletic, musical, theatrical, technological, analytical, scientific, and artistic talents and abilities. Individually and collectively, simply an amazing class. Without a doubt, your class will be forever remembered as one with the ability to overcome crazy obstacles, including the complete renovation of the high school and the COVID-19 pandemic. As I was reflecting on the direction of my speech, I thought it best to stick with my approach to coaching and teaching. Learn from the past, but focus on the present to improve the future. My class is not super intense, not a lot of yelling and screaming, not a lot of running around the room, but rather more chill, trying to show the good path, the path to good decisions, teaching that desire and motivation come best from within. As I was thinking about the topic of my speech, I thought it best to approach it like I do life. Keep it simple. So that's how I came up with my speech to the class of 2020. My simple approach to life. In other words, my life lessons and guidelines that I have learned to use and follow. I've got it down to 10. And number one is just that. Keep it simple. It's easy to make things complicated and add drama, but I suggest just keep it simple. Number two, pick a positive attitude. That sounds simple, but it takes a lot of practice and effort. It's something that only you can control. No one can do it for you. Picking a positive attitude affects everything that you do. It affects everyone around you. A positive attitude is something that no one can take away from you, and it's contagious to those around you. It's also a proven healthier way of life. Step 3, or guideline number 3, take time to reflect and make goals. The only way to change and improve is through goals, planning, and actions. And it starts with goals. Set aside time to think and reflect, and make both long-term and short-term goals to get you to where you want to go. Now, note that there's a difference between dreams and goals. Anyone can dream, but it's more important to make goals. The way you turn a dream into a goal is by adding a deadline. Put a date on it, make a plan of action, and simply get started. Like number 1, keep it simple, get started, and make it happen. It's okay to readjust your goals and to make new goals to take you in a different direction. Remember, life is a journey, not a destination. Number 4, to be the best, you must work harder and smarter than the rest. Don't be afraid to put in the extra hours and effort. Let people see your passion. Do what you know is best, despite the common trends. I have found that often the toughest roads, the biggest climbs, are often the roads that take you to the best destinations and views. Number 5, find something that you love to do and figure out a way to make it a job or a career. I can attest to the saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day of your life. I love working with people, helping them learn and improve. It's what I enjoy. It's because of you I enjoy and never have to go to work because it's something I love to do. It's something I want to do. The trick is finding what you love, finding what you are passionate about. If you haven't found it yet, keep exploring until you do. Take chances, try new things, explore new options. Your passion is out there. Find it and make it your job, and you'll never have to work. Number 6, make a difference in the world. Spread your positive attitude. The best way to help yourself from tough times and depression is often by reaching out to help others. Helping others helps you re-engage with your positive attitude and to see what you have to be grateful for. Like the expression goes, I was depressed and sad that I had no shoes until I met the man with no feet. By helping others, you in turn almost always help yourself. Number 7, life is a continuous stream of situations and challenges, but only you can decide to view these as problems or as opportunities. Choose to go through life seeing new things as opportunities. Live in an opportunistic world. The alternative is seeing new things as problems and living in a problematic world. Either way, you have to deal with the same situations, but it's much healthier to live in an opportunistic world full of hope. I have a challenge for you. Try to eliminate the word problem from your vocabulary and replace it with the word opportunity. It goes back to picking a positive attitude. Number 8, often the difference between winning and losing, success and failure, is belief in yourself. There is an incredible untapped power, strength, energy, and knowledge in us all. if you believe, but you must truly believe in yourself. I agree with what you hear a lot of coaches say. A large percent of the battle is mental. So take time to mentally prepare yourself. It takes time, it takes practice, but it makes a world of difference. I always envision the poster I've seen of Michael Jordan shooting a free throw during a game with his eyes closed because he truly believed in himself and his abilities. If you truly believe, magical things will happen. Number 9, have faith. It's better than the alternative. And number 10, as you travel through the journey of life, remember to enjoy the ride. Make time to have fun. I try to do something fun every day, which is usually pretty easy because I have that job that I love to do. But with that being said, every once in a while there are still rough days. So I go out of my way to find something fun to do because that's important. Be willing to work hard and make sacrifices in the journey of life, but also realize it's equally important to enjoy the ride. So it really comes down to this, class of 2020. You have accomplished a major milestone with tremendous amount of hard work, dedication, time, and effort. You have overcome major obstacles, but you have overcome. You have been tried, but have risen to every challenge. Be extremely proud of this fantastic accomplishment. I would like to wish you all the best as you move forward with the next chapter of your life. As you proceed through the journey of life, remember these things. Pick a positive attitude, set goals, find a career that you love, make a positive difference to those around you. See situations as opportunities, not problems. Work hard and believe in yourself and have fun, I suggest, every day. That's it. Keep it simple. Congrats, class of 2020. You are truly amazing and are going to continue to do amazing things. I wish you all the best in all of your future endeavors.
Thank you for the advice, Mr. Palazzotto. Next up, I'd like to introduce Senior Ava Giliana. Ava is no stranger to being first. She led the girls cross country team to state 3 years in a row. She was MVP of that team 3 times and MVP of the track team twice. Her accomplishments and character have not gone unnoticed. She was just recently accepted into the Air Force Academy, where she will continue her running career and pursue a major in biology or foreign area studies. I've known her personally as a member of the Student Athletic Advisory Council. It is there I've witnessed her perseverance, discipline, leadership, and dedication as she has worked to make Valpo a better place for student athletes of every sport. As she makes her way to the screen, my only hope is that she talks a little slower than she runs. Otherwise, we might not be able to keep up. Without further ado, Ava Giliana.
Thank you, Jack. Teachers, parents, and fellow members of the class of 2020. As Jack had just stated, my name is Ava Giliana, and today is a very exciting day, even if it might not be in the setting for which we had all hoped. Ask anyone. We have been talking about this day since the minute we stepped foot into the brick building of Valparaiso High School a very short 4 years ago. Throughout these 4 years, I have been a part of the VHS track and cross-country teams. Now, before every race, whether it was the first race of freshman year or the last race of junior, my teammates and I would become extremely nervous. No matter how much we had prepared for that specific race, we would always get those pesky butterflies in our stomachs at the starting line. We'd line up, do a few jumps and shakeouts to make the nerves go away, then the gun would sound. Nothing mattered after that point. Every bit of doubt and nerve went away as soon as we heard that boom, and all we could do was to keep our legs moving. Likewise, throughout our lives, there will be many starting lines that we will be afraid of or nervous to approach. From the first day of employment or college, to the first day in the military, trade school, or wherever else we all choose to continue our paths after today, we will always need to keep our legs moving. As Charles Dedrich once said, quote, "Today is the first day of the rest of our lives," end quote. As young men and women, we must step up, take responsibility for our actions, and cross the starting lines we choose from this point on. In this crazy ride we call life, There will be many trials and tribulations that will hold us back or pull us away from our goals. In these low times, we must remember the people who will have our backs and who will walk by our side through the fire. These people are our parents, our grandparents, aunts, uncles, our siblings, or our closest friends and mentors. These are the people who have watched us grow, have seen who we have become, and will learn our legacies. They do not care about the number of comments we get on our Instagram posts, how popular we were or weren't in high school, or the amount of likes we get on TikTok. These are all worthless and important things that no one will remember in the next 5 years. Along with keeping hard times in mind, we all need to find measures of hope and joy towards our futures, to be reminded of this every day and to be thankful, for ultimately, our lives are a blessing to be shared with those around us. At VHS, from not having a ceiling to the endless days of e-learning, every setback we have faced has made each of us a stronger person in the end. We really have been through it all, and yet here we are. We're all alive and well and ready to take our lives to the next level. Briefly, I offer the following thoughts. Ask your parents and other adults around you for advice. Do not gossip. Do not lose yourself on the internet or other social media, and only use those mediums for good. Care for others. Respect others, including those close to you. Try not to judge. Use your energy for good. Take responsibility for your decisions. Hard times will come, maybe tomorrow, or maybe in 10 years. I ask you all to accept that part of life, for the struggles will make us better citizens and family members. Do something every day to improve your mind, your body, and your soul. Those decisions are yours to make. Now, I would like to give my thanks to the many people who helped make graduation possible for each one of us. First, I would like to thank the parents and guardians of the class of 2020. Thank you for being our biggest cheerleaders, the strongest shoulders to cry on, and our greatest supporters in everything we do. We literally would not be here without you. Mom, Dad, I want to thank you personally for sitting through countless cross-country and track meets, for driving me across the country to compete in national meets, for teaching me how to walk into a room like I owned it, even when I didn't feel that way, for teaching me how to embrace the bad days and to never take advantage of the good, for being the two people whom I look up to the most, because the things you do for me would put you into the category of modern-day superheroes. I love you both so much. Next, I would like to thank my peers for being the strongest group of teenagers I know. Guys, we have been through everything imaginable and more. We should use these experiences as a springboard to help us move forward in a positive way. Thank you for keeping your heads held high and your sights aimed towards your bright futures. Last but certainly not least, I would like to give the biggest thanks and my greatest respect to our teachers, coaches, and administrators. You all had a choice, and you chose to help us. You chose to help us grow in our knowledge and in ourselves. You all gave us the work and taught it and did a fantastic job while doing it. The proof is right here. We all have ended up in caps and gowns. It's because of people like you who taught us to work harder. It's because of people like you who wake up extra early to be at the school by 5 so a student can take a test or receive help. It's because of people like you who look at every student and make each one of us feel like a person rather than a piece of paper with a letter on it. Most importantly, it's because of people like you who help the world go round by being superheroes who spread not only knowledge, but positivity and hope during this crazy time. And for that, I speak on behalf of the class of 2020 by saying thank you. Life is no easy thing. Ask anyone who has been there, done that. But our common lives started here, within the walls of Valparaiso High School. We all have stories. We all have something worth telling to people. Whether our story is something that makes us proud or not, it is part of us. And right here, right now, is where we choose where that story goes next. So, class of 2020, I truly wish all of you the best in life, and I cannot stress enough how wonderful it has been to be a part of your lives for the past 4 years. Thank you, and in the wise words of Tim McGraw, always stay humble and kind.
Thank you, Ava, and great life advice. I'd now like to introduce our last speaker of the afternoon. Last fall, I had the pleasure of working with the next speaker to organize a community blood drive. That blood drive raised 61 pints of blood and had 55 new donors. I can confidently say that event would not have been possible without him. He did have a habit of arriving fashionably late to the meetings, but after hearing his complete schedule, I can certainly see why. Jack Barone was busy balancing 2 sports, swimming and cross country, working a part-time job at Lincoln Flats, serving as the president of Valparaiso's own chapter of the National Honor Society, and mentoring middle schoolers through Team Lead. Just when his schedule was starting to clear up, he found out he would be writing a graduation speech for one of the toughest audiences out there, teenagers in solitary confinement. However, I could think of no better person to do it. He's an athlete who touts a 4.4 GPA. He's a leader who is willing to bust tables, and now he's your class of 2020 male graduation speaker. Please welcome Jack Brown.
Thank you, Jack. Good afternoon, class of 2020. I'm Jack. We went to high school together, back when we went to high school. I would want to give everyone here a big congratulations. But first, I would like to start with some thank yous before I begin. I would like to thank my family for always pushing me to be my best, more specifically, my mom for supporting my brother and I, and my dad for showing me what hard work truly looks like. I would like to thank all the faculty and staff that have not only educated us, but cared for us every single day. I would like to thank all the parents and relatives of the class of 2020 for your unconditional support. I would like to thank all medical workers for their constant effort in this uncertain time, and I would like to thank you, the class of 2020. It's your day to celebrate. Well, this is not the setting I initially imagined. This whole situation is far from normal, but nothing about our high school experience has been normal. We came into high school with hopes and construction, a lot of it. We maneuvered the halls as they were literally being built around us. We made it through 4 years, even if it took us consuming unhealthy amounts of caffeine just to fall asleep in first hour. As Charles Dickens put it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. And it was all of those things, especially the foolishness. And now we've been faced with a global pandemic, halting what seems to be the storybook ending to our senior year. We've all had our struggles, but together we can go farther. We can do unbelievable things even in this strange time. If it's doing all your e-learning for the week on Sunday night, to overcoming nocturnal sleep schedules to wake up bright and early at 8:30 in the morning for our cap and gowns. Anyways, the point is we kept fighting, we kept going, and we kept accomplishing things within the confines of our own home. We've gone to great lengths without going anywhere at all. Our high school experience has been riddled with setbacks, but these trials and tribulations are what make the class of 2020 who we are. We wear our bumps, bruises, and scars with pride, and most importantly, we keep moving forward. I thought about speaking about the real world and how everything is supposed to change when we graduate. But we've been through a lot these past 4 years, and especially these past few months. So take a deep breath, look around, and enjoy this moment. I wish you all not to worry about your future, but to cherish the last of your adolescent days so that you may look back on them with a smile. As we move on to the next chapter of our lives, there's much to do and even more to achieve. And I know with the utmost confidence that the class of 2020 is ready for any challenge put in front of us. As we graduate from Valparaiso High School, I wish you all to dare to dream. Don't be afraid of failing in your aspirations. I wish you not to shy away from using your many gifts, for everyone has something to give. As we move on to the next chapter of our lives, I ask you not to let the world harden you. Kindness is the only free thing that is worthwhile. To achieve greatness is not to receive money and recognition, but to leave the people you cross paths with a little more happiness and hope. Our time together as a class will not be remembered by grades, popularity, likes, or followers, but by relationships, the kind of people you are. And lastly, always be hopeful, for there will be brighter days and better skies, so look up, laugh, love, and lift. Class of 2020, it's been an amazing 4 years, and from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the very, very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Palazzotto, Ava, and Jack for sharing your thoughts and words with us. Shortly, we will begin the presentation of diplomas. The first students to be called will be the senior class graduation committee members, followed by those seniors graduating with International Baccalaureate diplomas, highest distinction, and distinction honors. The rest of the class will then follow. Graduate names will be read by our VHS school counselors, Mrs. Jessica Aguilar, Mrs. Jessica Kuss, Mr. Dan McKibben, Mrs. Carrie Oney, and Ms. Gordana Sormaz.
Jacob Andrew Kraus, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. James Foster Rusher III, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Ava L. Giuliana, Jack Edward Barone, highest distinction. Samuel Justin Burrow-Flack, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Terry Earl Bussey Jr., IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Olivia Marie Dress, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Isabel LaDuca, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Teresa Zinlin Nelson, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Shaylee James Ogondipe, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Eileen Elizabeth Uthapan, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Robert Theodore Woodburn IV, IB Diploma Candidate, highest distinction. Isaac Timothy Anderson, highest distinction. Morgan Ann Baina, highest distinction. Samantha Joanne Bloom, highest distinction. Alexander Joseph Bogner, highest distinction. Andrew Edward Borowiak, highest distinction. Nicole Elizabeth Brandy, highest distinction. Audra Christine Kamadeka, highest distinction. Amelia Valentina Domke, highest distinction. Jackson Douglas Dreyer, highest distinction. Molly Marie Farmer, highest distinction.
Josh Gilbert Fedorchuk, highest distinction. William Reagan Frost, highest distinction. Madison Louise Glass, highest distinction. Abigail Marie Glover, highest distinction. Ashley Ann Gragan, highest distinction. Lauren Nicole Gring, highest distinction. Angela Mary Grizzolano, highest distinction. Christine Natasha Harris, highest distinction. Jordan Rose Harris, highest distinction. Ryan Frederick Heisey, highest distinction. Haley Ann Hoffman, highest distinction. Megan Elizabeth Imhoff, highest distinction. Isabel Mendez Johnson, highest distinction. Andrew David Carr, highest distinction. Damon Robert Kroger, highest distinction. Veronica Grace Lynn, highest distinction. Catherine Grace McGrath, highest distinction. William Matthew Michaels, highest distinction. Kelsey Ann Minko, highest distinction. Madison Grace Molnar, highest distinction.
Paige Elizabeth Nagel, highest distinction. Jaden Alexander Nielsen, highest distinction. August Amber Nord, highest distinction. Rebecca Karen Northey, highest distinction. Lily Frances O'Shea, highest distinction. Emily Catherine Owens, highest distinction. Isabel Creepa Petit, highest distinction. Spencer Z. Ross, highest distinction. Jillian Lane Rossman, highest distinction. Jennifer Noel Sanders, highest distinction. Jack Lawrence Shorts, highest distinction. Alexis Marie Skeeta, highest distinction. Elias Justin Sewell, highest distinction. Lauren Marie Skadberg, highest distinction. Ruth Louise Stamp, highest distinction. Evan Patrick Tharp, highest distinction. Jenna Grace Thayer, highest distinction. Lauren Nicole Thompson, highest distinction. Emily Rose Triosi, highest distinction. Anastasia Christina Zagras, highest distinction. Xanthi Arini Zagras, highest distinction. Catherine May Vesely, highest distinction. Carter Elliott Walworth, highest distinction. Alessandra Josephine Will, highest distinction. Alyssa Day Vitvoet, highest distinction. Logan John Albright, distinction. Wynn Morgan Aldrich, distinction. Lydia Ann Bryant, distinction. Sarah Catherine Kavanaugh, distinction. Hannah Maureen Daughterman, distinction. Julia Christine Flannery, distinction.
Jonathan Michael Fry, distinction. Kinsey K. Gamaldine, distinction. John Douglas Gross, distinction. Grace Marie Healy, distinction. Jacob Haruska, distinction. Annika Ellen Johnson, distinction. Kyle Joseph Christoph, distinction. Liara Linda Lara, distinction. Liliana Ruth Magaro, distinction. Grace Celia McCorkle, distinction. Logan James Mersman, distinction. Riker Tiberius Norris, distinction. Chloe Margaret O'Brien, distinction. Anthony Milo Powell, distinction. William Charles Rader, distinction. Spencer Patrick Reed, distinction. Anastasia Grace Severson, distinction. Ian Robert Shingler, distinction. Thomas Joseph Stelma, distinction. Bailey Marie Steele, distinction. Peter Allen Stocker, distinction. Ashlyn Nicole Templin, distinction. Ethan Parker Vineyard, distinction. Olivia Rose Zell, distinction.
Ketty Agapishvili. Jack Grover Acton. Mallory Marie Adcock. Ketty Agapishvili. Nora Aliza. Mackenzie Irene Albright. Brendan Allen. Ruba Faith Alabade. Elizabeth Rose Amons. Dakota Knight Anderson. Zaria Moselle Marnay Anderson. Oyanola Mary Angerin. Maxwell Gordon Arnett. Osaid Ismail Atala. Eliza Grace Atterbury. Brennan Lee Bailey. Tyler Brian Bailey. Luke Anthony Balash. Miranda Rose Ballesteros. Blake Michael Barnett Camp. Carlo Garcia Barone. Russell Gabriel Barone III. Madison Michelle Baziak. Jason William Beach. Hallie Elizabeth Beebe. Caden Joseph Beeler. Fiona Elizabeth Bayland. Curtis Gerhart Banke. Lauren June Banke. Noah Cole Beller. John Russell Benton. Mia Judith Burdine. Sydney Marie Bernardi. Olivia Monique Bernashina. Eve Renee Bernhardt. Cooper Lee Blanchard. Clayton Tyler Blazik. Xavier Joshua Blossom Horton. Jillian J. Blunk. Grace Catherine Bonzik. Margaret Mary Bonzik. Emily Carlson Bondi. Mackenzie Ashley Boone. Mackenzie Elizabeth Bowen. Drake Charles Brandt. Jacob Michael Brandt. Alexander Bricker. Jamie Reese Briel. Luis Donald Briones IV. Carson Keen Brooks. D'Angelo Cordell Brown. Isaiah William Brown. Jordan Victoria Briss. Caitlin Isabel Buckmaster. David Mark Budnick. Ryan Patrick Burns. Benjamin Emil Burrow-Flack. Jonathan Cameron Cahill. Daniel John Callahan Jr. Aiden Jeffrey Campbell. Marissa May Carlson. Samuel Edward Carpenter. Kurt Allen Carter. Shannon Rose Catcher. Thomas Cook Kavanaugh. Nicholas Michael Sealis. Melanie Alexis Chavez. Zachary A. Scher. Trevor Dean Cherachinsky. Rihanna Tegan Christensen. Dylan Alexander Christman. Joseph Benedict Seo. Mark Stephen Savanik. Nicholas Michael Clark. Maya Ann Cody. Richard Coffey. Riley Gavin Cole.
Matthew Jerome Collins. Nolan Randall Collins. Savannah Danielle Collins. Thomas Merrill Collins III. Madeline Rose Connors. Logan David Conrick. Jordan Summer Copeland. Morgan Catherine Corneal. Pilar Naftali Cortez Delgado. Naomi Sarah Cotton. Alexia Jade Counter. Georgia Quinn Crawford, Zachary David Kreider, Nina Catherine Krim, Christopher Allen Crom, Michael Sebastian Cross, Harper Elizabeth Cummins, Jordan Thomas Curran, Jasmine Lynn Swetna, Logan Daniel Daly, J. Harrison Dalton, Julia Renee Daniel, Logan Wells Davidson, Joseph Armando Davis, Jillian Joy Davison, Leo Medema Davison, Molly Glennon Dedelo, Corey Irvin Diedick, Jessica Del Real, Eileen Grace Delahunty, Thomas Jerome Delaney, Olivia Elizabeth Delgado, Ronald Anthony DeLuna, Cameron Matthew William Dennis, Perrine DeRone, Michaela Rose Detterline, Michaela Grace Diaz, Katie Bo Dillman, Kelly Dillman, Kent Austin Dillon, Taylor Marie Dingman, Caleb Andrew Diston, Joshua Paul Diston, Ashley Anastasia Dodd, Hannah Jean Donley, Gwen Christine Danella, Sarah Douglas, Nathaniel Theodore Driver, Michaela Ann Donovan, Kylie Suann Dye, Kyle Robert Edgington, Devin William Ellers, Jack Wayne Eichelberger, Andrew Thomas Eichmeyer, Khalid Saeed Elian, Rafiq Sami Alnagar, Ethan Illis Ensign, Jacob Adam Farley, Jacob Riley Farmer, Kaylee Elizabeth Fernandez, Aaliyah Rachel Ferngren, Aisha Trinity Field, Karina Faith Figuera, Lucas Angelo Fisher, Madeline Ann Flick, Hannah Marie Flynn, Danny Lee Michelle Fouts, Sydney Jane Franco, Jackson Donald Frey. Mallory Brianne Gall. Guadalupe Garcia. Haley Rose Garcia. Sarah Nicole Gardner. Benjamin Edwin Gebhardt. Elisa Nicole Gear. Charles Oliver Gibson. Brooklyn Gabrielle Gilbert. Allison Regan Gillio. Lillian Claire Gillens. Jason Clifton Dwight Gladney. Madeline Ann Goddard. Caleb Benjamin Goldfarb. Isaac Christopher Gonzalez. Leslie C. Gonzalez. Isabel Claire Gordon. Ainsley Beth Grabarick.
John Scott Gersich. Alexis Linnea Grund. Jillian Corinne Gums. Kyle Lee Gundlach. Ella Gutenstein. Kyle Douglas Johnson Hahn. Aaron Matthew Hale. Sophia Nicole Halfman. Jack Riley Haller. Reed Michael Haller. Mason Allen Hansen. Deanna Lee Harden. Joseph Matthew Hardwick. Lucas Keys Harris. Mikkel Stephan Harris. Saoirse Helene Harris. Emily Willow Haynes. Kenna Rosemary Hazlitt. John P. Heflick V. Caleb Michael Heminger. Madison Haley Henderson. Zoe Grace Hendricks. Gajathon Andrew Henricks. Tyler Christopher Hewlett. Carson Marley Hicks. Cameron Thomas Hill. Damari Bianca Hissick. Marquise Hissick. Carissa Marie Height. Kristen Michelle Hoffman. Dylan DeRay Hobson. Morgan Elaine Hoskins. Brendan Anthony Holdson. Hannah Spence Howard. Corey Allen Howard. Cameron Elizabeth Huber. Paris Hudson. Skylar Ray Hudson. Tanner Lee Hudson. Adam Jeffrey Huntinger. Jennifer Marie Injeski. Alexander Stephen Jackson. Jamani Casimir Jackson. Aaron Robert Jacobs. Alexis Noel Jager. Norman Justin Jager. Austin Michael Gallagher Janik. Ryan Dennison Janoski. Isaiah Reen Josso. Drew Joseph Jedniak. Keith Alexander Joby. Bailey Ann Johnson. Brooke Elise Johnson. Destiny Renee Johnson. Devin Johnson. Kaylee Charlene Kapler. Brian Patrick Kelly. Joshua Clarence Kelly. Nicole Anna Mary Key. Abigail Renee Kidd. Jasmine Victoria Grace King. Morgan Lynn Kirk. Angel Elizabeth Marie Kleckner. Haley Ruth Klein. Blake Luis Knock. Tegan Emmanuel Canoop. Payne Ryan Corpella. Grant Joseph Cozett. Riley William Kursick. Peyton Edward Krutz. Alexander Benjamin Kragowski. Tatiana Elizabeth Kukarugia.
Sarah Ann Landry. Anna Lee LaValle. Tenley Shannon Lazar. Thomas Walter Lee. Jeremiah Andrew Leffridge. Jillian Ray Leone. Grace Marie Leverich. Alexa Lee Liangos. Juliana Marie Locke. Brooke Nicole Lustig. Melody Joanne Luther. Catherine Brain McCon. Brandon Thomas Mack. Joanna Mahmood. Ethan Kenneth Madel. Joseph Wolfgang Mann. Mason David Maple. Ruth Ann Grace Marfo. Ethan Hunter
Marshall. Amber Marie Martin. Ashley Nicole Martin. Owen Kyle Martinez. Taryn Elizabeth Massey. Alexis Jane Matheson. Alexa Matijevic. Jesse Renee McGregor. Nakia M. McMullen. Jessica Lynn Meadows. Jaime Cesar Mendoza. Elizabeth Ann Matracos. Clayton Cole Meyer. Mark Joseph Meyer. Brooke Ashlyn McKennis. Angelina Hope Miller. David Thomas Mitchell Jr. Mason Lyle Mitchell. Victor J. Moore. Hisham Musa. Alexandra Jane Munt. Kiera Christine Murphy. Isabel Ann Nuggets. Tiffany Nguyen. Kobe Joseph Nixon. Hunter Michael Noonemaker. Molly Harrison Nunley. Maxwell John Oling. Nicholas Jerome Ogiego. Matthew Raymond Olson. Daniel Carl Uli. Christopher John Opperman. Lillian Yvonne O'Quinn Bishop. Caitlin Ashley Orchid. Cameron James Osborne.
Antonio Francisco Azorio. Logan Everett Osdick. Lillian Parker Pansini. Daniel Luke Parker. Rodolfo Joseph Parmigiano. Taylor Suzanne Pastor. Luke William Patterson. Max Riley Paulson. Shay Charlotte Pendleton. Samantha Jean Perry. Vanessa Paige Pips.
Colton Chance Pickens. Samuel Robert Pliss. Brandon Michael Price. Russell Wenceslaw Propek II. Ricardo Jose Pulido Jr. Tyler Jacob Puskar. Gianna Irene Quartucci. Mackenzie Judy Quinn. Austin Archer Rabaza. Andrew Michael Razor, Joanna Judith Ramirez, Carlos Aiden Ramos, Brian Jardim Reese, Richard Jardim Reese, Andrew Michael Rilos, Ethan Robert Rennie, Austin Joel Rentschler, Natasha Marie Ryle, Nicholas Mark Riberty, Blake Helgens Ritgers, Owen Helgens Ritgers, Cade Walker Robbins, Elena Marie Roberts, Eden Victoria Roberts, Dana Albert Rodriguez,
Adam Gregory Rogers, Libby Misa Rogers, Isabel Peyton Rojek, Tira Julianne Romaneshki, Joseph Anthony Roytan, John Christopher Runyon, Emmeline Rose Rutkowski, Joseph Octaviano Sanchez, Tyler Michael Sargent, Laurel May Sarver, Creighton Garrick Schneck, Benjamin Michael Schuyler, Elizabeth Rebecca Schmidt, Mason William Schmidt, Timothy John Schoenling, Eric Hamilton Schultz, Benjamin Michael Scott,
Anna Elizabeth Sinise, Dylan Christopher Sharp, Wesley Raymond Sharp, Olivia Nyan Sheldon, William Noah Gregory Shelton, Hannah June Shepard, Kylie Kathleen Scheimer, Jacob A. Simon, Micah David Simons, Victoria Hildegard Simpson, Lana Bayan Sirhan, Michael Ronald Smith, Adam Goodman Spector, Avery Elizabeth Spencer, Mia Claire St. Germain, Andrew Michael Standiford, Hannah Elizabeth Steele, Carter Michael Stevens, Lance Austin Stewart, Joseph Carl Strickland, Valerie Nicole Stutzman, Kyler Joseph Sullivan, Nicholas Paul Taskoff, Brooke Elizabeth Teleski, Orlando Michael Tomas Robinson, Elena Lynn Thompson, Robert Douglas Thorgren, Isaiah Robert Tidwell, Aaron Elise Toby, Dimitri Alexander Tabon, Matthew Robert Tomczak, Hannah Cheval Tusevich, Lauren Grace Topping, Jasmine Torres, Alicia Lynn Troust, Riley E. Trinaski, Jonathan Rocco Trushan, Brandon Nathaniel Tyler, Jana Ria Annika Usitalo, Gavin Knight Van Dam, Calvin Philip Van Benthusen, Colin Matthew Van Ort, Isaiah Vargas, Brianna Lynn Vaughn, Denver Blaze Vaughn, Christian Vicasi, Zachary Aaron Velasquez, Gabriel Vitalio Valoria, Sydney K. Valome, Zeth Peter Wachter, Megan Jo Wagenblast, Yovan Shea Walker, Nathan Glenn Walker, Morgan Elizabeth Walls, Janiyah Lindsay Waters, Jamia Nikaria White, Jackson Russell Wilburn, Brooke Logan Wilcox, Kentrell Antone Williams, Louis Anthony Williams, Santana Renee Williams, Ryan Patrick Williamson, Eden Olivia Wilson, Isaac Nicholas Wilson, Tawny Sage Wilson, Rayanne Helen Wingard, Ryan James Winkler, Travis J. Whitmer, Joshua Thomas Worley, Damian Daniel Wright, Jack Andrew Wright, Ryoma Yamawaki, Caleb Yana, Cody Matthew Yednak, Maria Dolores Yogan, Jordan Ray Yurko, Andrew Joseph Zaweski, Jacqueline Renee Zillinger,
Thank you, Mrs. Aguilar, Mrs. Kuss, Mr. McKibben, Mrs. Oni, and Ms. Sormaz. Friends and family, please join me in recognizing the class of 2020. Next, I would like to introduce and ask that Interim Superintendent of Schools for the Valparaiso Community Schools, Mr. Michael Berta, join me on the screen. Mr. Berta, as principal of Valparaiso High School of the Valparaiso Community Schools in Valparaiso, Indiana, I present to you these candidates for graduation with the class of 2020. Each candidate will have met all requirements set forth by the state of Indiana and the Valparaiso Community Schools.
Thank you, Dr. Taban, and good afternoon, everyone. Students, in a moment, as I read the graduation declaration, you will transition from the status of candidate to a high school graduate. When I graduated from high school in 1967, and yes, there were schools in 1967, I remember wishing that my family could be with me in that moment. Well, today, at this special time, in this special moment, you have that opportunity. So I invite you, if you will, to invite your family to surround you right now to experience this transition from candidate to graduate together. Here we go. Seniors, you have now been presented as candidates for graduation based on your completion of all requirements set forth by the state of Indiana and the Valparaiso Community Schools. In just a moment, you will be moving your tassel from right to left. This symbolizes your change from candidate to graduate. Candidates, you may now move your tassel. By the powers vested to me by the state of Indiana and the Valparaiso Community Schools, I now announce you as graduates of Valparaiso High School. Congratulations to each of you and best wishes to you and your family. And now I return the program back to Principal Taban.
Thank you, Mr. Berta. At this time, members of the Valparaiso Community Schools Board of Trustees would like to share a message with our graduates.
The Valparaiso Community Schools Board of School Trustees extends our sincere congratulations to the class of 2020, their families, and the many educators who share in our excitement today. While we would have preferred to shake the hand of each graduate and personally hand out those hard-earned diplomas, current times require us to celebrate in a new way. Though today's celebration cannot fully replicate the thrill of being together as a class or walking across the commencement stage, the intended sentiment and pride is no less present for you, the class of 2020. We are extremely proud of each and every one of you.
To the parents, guardians, and family members who have supported each graduate, we offer our congratulations and thanks. Without committed families, Valparaiso Community Schools could not maintain the level of excellence required to assist students in becoming well-rounded, productive members of society. The time and resources you have invested in your graduate and in Valparaiso Community Schools will produce dividends that extend well beyond your family. An investment in our students is an investment in not only our community, but in society in general. Your love, support, and guidance have directly contributed to your graduates' accomplishments. Congratulations on a job well done.
To the educators who supported the class of 2020, from those first days of wonder in the kindergarten classroom to the most recent days spent in Zoom meetings and discussion threads, you made a difference in the lives of these graduates, and we thank you for your service. You not only shared your knowledge, but you shared your lives, often becoming mentors and lifelines for so many students. Your knowledge, creativity, passion for education, and humility provided a firm foundation for our students. When they go on to succeed in the world, you too share in that success.
To the residents of Valparaiso, we extend our gratitude for your continued support of public education. Your investment in Valparaiso Community Schools is an investment in our community as a whole. Our success as a society of conscientious, educated people depends on the ability to effectively educate our children. Today, we recognize yet another class of educated citizens who are prepared to positively contribute to our great society.
To the graduates of the class of 2020, this is your time. Like it or not, for better or worse, you have the unique position of being the class to graduate in the midst of uncertain times, a global pandemic. If you have learned anything from your study of history, you know that uncertain times often make for great generations. Do not let the current situation steal your joy in this moment or your hope for the future. Significant trials refine us and make us stronger. You are prepared to handle what life brings your way. May you find success in your future paths, and may those paths lead you back to Valparaiso for a visit or to begin your own chapter in the city. No matter where life's paths take you, you will always be a Viking.
We are Valpo.
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 Thank you to the VCS Board for your continued service to the Valparaiso Community Schools and for your insightful message to our graduates. Also, thank you to the Canadian National Railway, Porter County Health Department, Valparaiso Fire Department, Valparaiso Police Department, City of Valparaiso Board of Works, and the Valparaiso community for your continued support and for making today's events possible. Thank you to the Valparaiso High School Graduation Committee and all of our Vikings who each played a special role to make this milestone special for our students. Finally, thank you to the graduates, parents, guardians, and staff for participating in the virtual commencement for the class of 2020. We look forward to celebrating with you on July 12th at 3 p.m. when we watch our graduates walk across the stage on Viking Field. At this time, please enjoy a rendition of The Who's Pinball Wizard, a special project recorded virtually by our VHS senior bands. After the student performance, I invite everyone to join me outside for a special fireworks display. This senior salute will include 5 resounding fireworks launched from 4 locations around our community in a round-robin format for a total of 20 individual fireworks to celebrate the class of 2020. This will be followed by a grand finale. Thank you very much.